Okay, let's be real. In the world of true crime, we're all used to the monsters. But what happens when the monster running wild meets someone with an unshakable, terrifying drive? Someone whose only goal is to hunt the hunter. Forget fictional vigilantes. This is the true story of a predator, the Golden State Killer, who ruled California for decades. He was brutal, he was fast, and he was the definition of untouchable. This guy thought he was God until the hunt turned on him. What if I told you the person who cracked this case wasn't even a cop for most of it? I'm genuinely baffled by how this finally went down. The ghost in the suburbs. Back in the 70s and 80s, California had a problem. Not a new problem, but a phantom problem. This guy went by so many names. The Visalia Ransacker, the East Area Rapist, the original Night Stalker. Let's just call him the GSK. He didn't just break in, he terrorized. He'd sneak into homes, sometimes stay for hours, often tying couples up. The psychological warfare was absolutely insane. It was pure gaslighting, making his victims feel completely insane and helpless. And the worst part? He was everywhere and nowhere. The crime spanned over 40 cities. The evidence was there: DNA, sketches, witness statements. But every single lead went cold. The files just kept piling up, a huge stack of unfinished business, a massive, frustrating, crushing defeat for law enforcement. It's unbelievable to think this guy was just casually walking around, going to the grocery store, having dinner, while detectives were pulling their hair out trying to figure out who was behind the mask. The obsession. Here is where the story gets truly intense. Decades passed. The world moved on, but a small handful of people, they couldn't let it go. This killer had defined their lives, and they became the hunters. There was the dedicated detective Paul Holes, who carried the case files around like a ghost on his back. And then there was McNamara. She was a true crime journalist, and this case, to her, was the ultimate psychological puzzle. She gave the killer his most famous name, the Golden State Killer. She was literally writing a book about finding him, calling it I'll Be Gone in the Dark. That's an obsessive level of dedication. Wait until you hear this next part. I promise you, it gives me chills. Michelle died suddenly in 2016. Still hunting him. She never finished the book. The killer was still out there. It was a maddening sense of unfinished business. The final trap. But the legacy of her obsession, the files she organized, and the name she popularized kept the hunt alive. Detective Holes and the team decided to try a totally different strategy. They used DNA and public genealogy databases, sites like GEDmatch. They took the killer's DNA, uploaded it, and found a distant cousin. From there, they built out the family tree, moving from distant relatives to closer ones until the circle got tiny. They landed on one man, Joseph James DeAngelo. When they finally rolled up on him in 2018, he was 72 years old, living in the suburbs, a former police officer himself. Yes, you heard that right. He was a cop during the time of some of the earliest crimes. His isn't just a twist, it hits you hard with the irony. He was supposed to be the protector, but he was the predator. The ultimate betrayal, the ultimate act of hiding. So there's your true hunter. Not a masked vigilante, but pure, relentless dedication. DeAngelo was caught not by a slip-up, but by the obsession of a detective and a writer who refused to let his darkness define the end of the story. Think about this. For 40 years, this guy got away with it, living a totally normal life. It took science, the internet, and a ghostwriter to finally bring him down. What do you think is scarier, the killer, or the fact that someone this monstrous can blend in so easily? Hit that comment section and let me know. And if this story has you hooked, you know what to do. Hit that like and subscribe button for more deep dives into the shadows. Seriously.